بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. This is Darsul Fiqh. We are coming to the end of Kitab al-Sawm and the beginning of Kitab al-Tahara, the purity. So we have a few sentences to say about fasting and then we end it and we go immediately to Kitab al-Tahara. النظر الثالث في اللواحق وفيه مسائل. الأولى, the first مسألة, المرض الذي يجب معه الإفطار. What type of sickness should it be that prevents you from fasting? What type of sickness? Number one, ما يخاف به الزيادة. Any type of sickness that is going to be aggravated by fasting, exacerbated. Okay? So, if not necessarily that you will get sick, but even if you have sickness, let's say you have a flu, and the doctor says plenty of liquid, fluids, okay? And if you fast, obviously you can't have that. And your flu is going to, let's say, prolong 2-3 more days, let's say, or get worse. The symptoms gets worse. That case, you should not fast, okay? Or let's say heart disease, or whatever disease that is going to be aggravated and become worse by fasting, then the fasting should be avoided. It's not allowed. It's not allowed to fast. وَيَبْنِي فِي ذَلِكَ عَلَى مَا يَعْلَمُهُ مِنْ نَفْسِهِ. How do we know? Do we need to ask the doctor? No. Sometimes you may ask the doctor who's professional in this field, and sometimes you know it out of your own history, your own experience. So sometimes you become the doctor of yourself. You know yourself. You know your health. You know the patterns, what happens when you get sick, when you don't eat this, when you don't, certain things, when you don't do them, you get sick. In that case, you depend on your knowledge. أو يظنه لأمارة, or you speculate because of a sign. And the sign here, كقول الطبيب العارف. The judgment of a professional عارف means professional doctor when he tells you. So this is considered what, Arash? Sign. Believe me, Arash now is in downtown Tehran. Believe me, I can tell from his eyes. He's preparing for the trip and the details of the trip, what he's going to do. وَلَوْ صَامَ. Now, if he knows that fasting is bad for him, he knows, or the doctor told him it is bad, and he knows, then he did fast متكلفا, meaning that he's putting a burden on himself. قضاه, that day, though he fasted that day, but he still have to make up that day. Good for him. Okay? He has to make up that day. Even if he finished fasting that day, he has to make up that day.
I understand there's like a fine line between one doctor can tell you something, the other can tell you something else, or people have different symptoms which are not diagnosed under one thing. I mean, it's tough to...
Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes the answers are easy. Any doctor can tell you. And sometimes, yes, doctors, they come into disagreement. Some of them say you can bear it. I know, I've done this. Maybe he's a Muslim doctor. He knows what it takes. Others, they are extra, cautious. I've seen this, even not just fasting. When you go, cardiologist, one of them says, well, relax, you can do this, you don't have. Other one, no, take this tablet, this one. So you have to apply common sense here. الثانية, المسافر إذا اجتمعت فيه شرائط القصر. A person who is a traveler. If a traveler has to break his fast, okay, in that case has also to break, if he has to break his prayers, then he has to break his what, Arish? His fast too, yes. Because the fast is linked to the prayers. Whenever you must break your prayers, then at the same time you must break your fast. وَلَوْ صَامَ, with one exception, we're going to come to that exception soon. وَلَوْ صَامَ, but if the person opts to fast عَالِمًا بِوُجُوبِهِ, knowing that he's a traveler, and he must break his fast, and yet he does fast, then قَضَاهُ, the day that he fasted while he was traveling, he still has to make them up. But وَإِنْ كَانَ جَاهِلًا لَمْ يَقْضِي, but if he did not know really the ruling, he thought it's okay to fast while he's traveling, and he did fast while he was traveling, and he didn't know the ruling, he didn't know that he has to break, then he doesn't have to make up these days. الثالثة الشرائط المعتبرة في قصر الصلاة معتبرة في قصر الصوم. The same conditions that apply to breaking the prayers while you are traveling, the same conditions apply for fasting. Okay? ويزيد على ذلك, but with few differences. One of the differences, this mas'ala, this upcoming mas'ala, that there is a debate and discussion and some disagreement about it between the fuqaha. What is the mas'ala? Some fuqaha say, including the author of the book, he says, when you travel, ويزيد على ذلك تبييت النية. Now, if you want to travel, then you have to make the intention the night before. For instance, tomorrow is Tuesday, and this is the month of Ramadan. And tonight you decide that tomorrow I'm going to be out of town. It's not a sudden decision. It's a premeditated decision. Okay? In that case, when you premeditate in your mind and you consider tomorrow a day of traveling from tonight, then you can break your what?
Cut.
You can break it, yeah. Exactly. Break your fasting and break your prayers. وَقِيلَ لَا يُعْتَبَرُ. There is a disagreement. See, there are three opinions. So the first opinion, you have to decide the traveling from the night before. The second opinion says no. You don't have to decide from night before. But as soon as بل يكفي خروجه قبل الزوال. If you leave the city, your home, before noon, then you break your fast. Okay? Another third opinion says وقيل لا يعتبر أيضا بل يجب التقصير الإفطار ولو خرج قبل الغروب. No, you don't have, even if you leave in the afternoon before sunset, you have to break your fast for that day. Even if your departure is going to be, the second group says before noon. The third group says even if it is before sunset, you passed the noon and you stayed in the city, but you need to leave the city before sunset, still that day you have to break the fast of it. But the author says, I disagree. My opinion is more correct. وَالْأَوَّلُ أَشْبَهُ. Meaning that if you want, you have to make the niyyah from the night before. Meaning if you don't want to fast tomorrow, tonight say, I'm going to travel. But if you say it, and this, of course, it's not a popular opinion. Popular opinion today, if you travel before noon, you don't have to say from the night before. at 10 a.m., the company decided to send you to San Diego. You ride your car, it's before noon. So if you are leaving before noon, even if you did not decide this the night before, once you left before noon, even 5 minutes before noon, you can break your fast. وكل سفر يجب قصر الصلاة فيه يجب قصر الصوم وبالعكس. Each travel that entails breaking your prayers in it, it does also entail breaking your fast. Or if it entails breaking the fast, it does also entail breaking your, because they are intertwined. إلا الصيد للتجارة على قول. Except if you go for hunting to sell, not for fun, not game. If you are going for hunting,
You can't do it anyway.
to sell, no, to sell.
I mean, for
As
fun,
a business,
for fun.
as a business. As a fun, it's ma'siyah. So you can't break your fast. Okay? But if you go for business, in that case, your prayers is full, but your fast is broken. This is the only differentiation, because you are going for business. So in that case, you offer full prayers while you are traveling for hunting, which is for business, trade. But you can't fast.
Say, question, if you're
Yeah.
traveling, so when you're traveling, is the niyyah or so let's say to your point, 10 a.m., the company calls you and says, I need you to get to San Diego as soon as possible. So you get in your car and you drive. Do you then cut your fast and cut your prayers
will
as
come.
soon as you hit that
We will come to number
Oh.
5. We will mention this.
The 10
We
day
we will mention in number 5, we'll mention your question. What was yours?
on the 10-day rule for traveling, does that start when you arrive at the destination?
We
or
will
when you
we will answer it in number 4. So number 4. الذين يلزمهم إتمام الصلاة سفرا يلزمهم الصوم. However, for those group of people that they still have to offer full prayers while they travel, they also should offer the fasting while they travel. Such as whom? Such as وهم الذين سفرهم أكثر من حضرهم. There is a broad title for it. There are details and a broad title, overarching title. The details, the pilot, the captain, someone who's, frequent traveler, someone whose job in traveling, someone who
circus performer.
whatever. Yeah, his job. His job. A driver, those type of people. A businessman who has to travel from city into another, for his tajir, merchant. He has to carry his goods or to market from this city into that city. These are the details. What are the overarching?
frequent travel.
How do you define a frequent traveler? الذين سفرهم أكثر من حضرهم. They travel more than they stay in town. So if the year, let's say 365 days, let's say 200 days you travel, 165 you stay at home. So this is travel, your traveling is more than your residence, you're staying. Okay? ما لم يحصل لأحدهم إقامة 10 أيام في بلده. Now, if that person who's a frequent traveler, one day he came home and his wife said to him, Habibi, please stay with me longer. So it happened that he, on this trip back home, he stayed with her home 10 days. How should he pray in these 10 days home? Full. Now, after that, if he wants to, the first visit after these 10 days, he should pray qasr. Only the first trip, huh? Only the first trip.
So it switches that if you do
Switches, yeah. Okay?
But they have to be 10 consecutive.
Or not necessarily he came to his city. He went to Phoenix, not LA, not Orange County. He stayed there 10 days So when he stays there 10 days, definitely he prays tamam. And then his next trip to anywhere, that next trip he should pray what? Qasr. Only this is the exception. وقيل, the opinion, another opinion, يلزمهم الإتمام مطلقا. He should, whether he stayed 10 days or he did not stay 10 days in his home or in that city, that person has to pray full his entire year, as long as he's doing that type of business. What type of business? He is traveling more, the number of days that he travels exceeds the number of days that he stays home. The second opinion says, no, we don't even look at numbers. That guy is traveling 200 days a year, he's traveling, 165 he's staying. In that case, you pray full and you fast full the whole year. Now, did this answer your question or not? I bet you forgot your question.
No, but actually my own trip, it's a 14-day trip. It takes 2 days to get to Iran. I'm 10 days in Iran. I'm in Iran 10 days. Then I'm
So you are
back
staying
2 days
10 days.
back. Do I have to offer food or that's it? I think I have to offer food.
Iran is your home, yes?
No, Vatan, no.
It's not your watan?
No, it's...
Okay. If it is your watan, even if you stay there less than 10 days, it's your watan. Even if you stay there 3 days, let's say, in Tehran. If it is still watan, if it is not watan, you relinquish this. You say, no, it's not my watan. It's the home of my parents, but it's not my home anymore. I don't have intention to go back and resettle there. In that case, you must stay at least 10 days. Otherwise, you have to recite broken.
But does the 10 days start from the day I leave the US
No,
or from when I get there?
The day you leave, the day you arrive in town. The first thing you arrive, the first prayers you do. The first prayers you do has to be tamam. If you know you're staying 10 days. But if you don't know, it could be 10 days. I could go to somewhere else, another city. Then you must pray broken 30 days. And then day 31, you begin, even if you are still in a state of hesitation, you do full prayers. So in your example, if you are going now to stay 10 days, you count the number 1 day from the moment of arrival.
So during the 2 days, to his point, during the 2 days he's traveling, he prays Qasr.
Qasr, of course.
And then he arrives, then he does Tamam, and then the 2 days that he's traveling back, he
Qasr.
does Qasr.
If he prays in the airplane, yes, Qasr. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay. الخامسة لا يفطر المسافر. This is the question that Dr. Amid asked. The company tells him, leave to San Diego before noon. And he left. He left Irvine, let's say. As soon as he leaves, he drinks. It's 10 a.m., 11 a.m., before noon. As soon as he leaves, as soon as he's in San Juan Capistrano, no. There are 2 things that have to happen. Number 1, حتى يتوارى عنه جدران البلد, until the walls of the city disappears. He cannot see them anymore. أو يخفى عليه أذانه. He cannot hear the adhan anymore. Now in America, neither one are available. They don't raise the adhan from minarets anymore. So even if you are next to the masjid, you don't hear the adhan. Neither the first one, because cities are connected here. In America, it's impossible that you don't see, especially in this state. Maybe in Texas, maybe in Arizona, maybe in New Mexico, there is a desert. You leave this village, this small town, there is a desert, nothing. But here, going to San Diego, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, back to back there are homes. Here we go back to the urf. See, this is not theory, this is fatwa I am giving. Those are theories here. What does ulama say in this case? they say if you reach an area where they say that this no longer your city or your county, no longer Orange County, this is San Diego County or another county, which is not Orf. Public opinion says San Diego County is independent from Orange County. Yes, they are neighbors, but this is a city and that's another city. Okay? In that case, once you leave the borders of Orange County, it tells you the end. Let's say, hypothetically, they say the end of Orange County, you count 17 miles. After that, you can break. You can drink. You don't have to reach your destination. You can pray qasr. Let's say if you pulled over to rest or to fill gas and it's time for noon, you can do qasr after the 17 miles. And you can break your fast after that. Now, what is this with the old criteria? When you don't see the walls of the city anymore, neither you hear the adhan. What they call that point, it has a professional name, whatever name, religious name. You see it on the highway of Tehran and Qom. Next time when you go to Qom, if you look at your right side, when you are leaving Qom going to Tehran, there is a big sign. Haddut Tarakhus. Haddut Tarakhus, it means here you don't hear the adhan of the city, of the mosques of the city, you don't hear their adhan, neither you see the walls. So here you can break your fast at this point, not before. Not before, because before you are still in the city. Here, you are outside the city. Hadd al-Tarakhus means the end of the city, period. End of the city.
So 17 miles after that? Or,
in our case.
In our case, yeah, over there that counts, okay.
Yeah, in our case, 17 miles after the end of Orange County. فَلَوْ أَفْطَرَ قَبْلَ ذَلك. Now, if you, before reaching Hadd al-Tarakhus, you broke your fast, here you have to do qada and kaffara. Because you are still in town, you're not traveling. You have not reached Hadd al-Tarakhus. Once you reach Hadd al-Tarakhus, you become a traveler. Before that, you are still not traveling. Though you left the city, but you did not leave it completely. You are within the boundaries of the city. As-sadisa, number 6. Al-him. Al-him means the old man. Wal-kabira, and old women. Wa-dhul-utash. Dhul-utash is a disease. Today, some ulama, they call it diabetes. Some say not necessarily diabetes, but someone who's not diabetic, but he's accustomed to drink. If he doesn't drink, he gets dizzy, he gets really thirsty beyond. We all get thirsty in Ramadan and hungry, we all. But beyond functioning, which could cause him, sickness or illness, affects his health. This is Dhul Utash. He drinks water a lot. يفطرون في Ramadan. They are exempted. They break their fast. Those 3 examples. Old man, old women, elderly men and women, and person who requires to drink water. We all, of course, require to drink water, but to the extent that if he doesn't, he gets sick. I get sick, believe me, but still I fast. I miss the tea the most. Tea and coffee. Sometimes I say, I wish we had permission, 1 cup of tea. 10 a.m., 11 a.m., just 1 cup. وَيَتَصَدَّقُونَ. Now, those 3 guys who are not required to fast in Ramadan, they give sadaqah for every day 750 grams of food. Less than a kilo. 3/4 of a kilo of food. What is food, my friends? Ta'am.
Rice,
Exactly.
barley.
Original food, not popcorn, or ice cream or candy. This is not food. Food means rice, barley, wheat, dates also considered, because they used to eat dates as a meal. Nowadays nobody eats it as a meal. These things are considered food. So you buy 3/4 a kilo times 700 grams times 30. You do the math. I don't know how to do it. And then you purchase, let's say 25 kilos of rice per month. They give it to the poor. Then after Ramadan, when the days, let's say, are shorter, sunset is 5, in some countries it could be 4 p.m. too. If they afford to fast, they must fast. If not, then qada is dropped. And if those elderly do not have enough money to pay charity, even the sadaqah is dropped.
Sadaqah meaning the fidya?
The fidya. Even that, yeah. If they don't have, they can't afford. Some people can't afford. Don't look at people today. This is 700 years ago. So if they can't afford to pay this fidya, the 750 gram of food per day, then that one is dropped too. So neither they do qada nor they pay sadaqah. وَإِنْ أَطَاقَ بِمَشَقَّةٍ كَفَّرَ. Now, another opinion says, if they really can fast, but with extreme difficulty, in that case, they have to pay the charity. With extreme case. Okay? But if they cannot fast at all, it's dangerous for them. Not even 2 hours, let alone 12 hours. In that case, they don't even pay charity. Okay? They don't have to pay charity. But if they can fast with severe difficulty and they chose not to fast, in that case they pay the charity. The fidya. Okay? So in 2 cases they don't pay. One case which applies to all. They don't have money. I don't have money to, I could not fast. Let's say someone is sick in Ramadan and outside Ramadan, and cannot pay charity. Broke, homeless. In that case, he doesn't pay. The second case of elderly people who cannot fast at all, not even 2 hours, not even 3 hours, not even 1 hour. They need to always drink, always eat, or medication or something, have medication. In that case, again, neither they have to make up nor they have to pay charity. But if they can fast, they can finish the day with difficulty, and they chose not to because it was too much for them, in that case they don't make it up, but they have to pay charity.
Sayyid, he keeps, in this book, he keeps switching that. So it's not, that wouldn't be considered a kafara, right? Kafara is like a...
They uses 3 terms. They use kafara, they use sadaqah, and they use fidya. All of them, they give the same meaning.
Really? Because I thought fidya is charity, like kafara is more expiation, it's like a punishment.
In some cases. But in other, the general meaning of it, of all these things, it's like the zakat. Zakat is general meaning for taxation, but it has khums, it has these details. The general meaning is kafara. However, the kafara, when you look at it specifically, it has fidya. One of it is fidya, which you did not do something wrong. You could not fast. Another, it is kafara, and there is a difference between kafara and fidya. Yeah, fidya, when you have to pay 750, even if you have not done something wrong. You were sick and you could not fast, you could not do qada. However, kafara when you break it intentionally. Okay? السابعة الحامل المقرب, the pregnant who's about in her last stage of pregnancy. This is one example. And والمرضع القليلة اللبن, the nursing mother who does not have sufficient milk. Not any murضع, not any nursing, because the book that in front of you, it says the nursing mother. But there is a condition. Nursing mother who does not have enough milk to give her baby, يجوز لهم الإفطار. It's okay for them to break their fast في رمضان, during the month of Ramadan. وتقضيان مع الصدقة. Now after the month of Ramadan, whenever they are able, let's say the nursing mother stopped nursing her baby, the pregnant delivered the baby, after Ramadan they have to make up and they have to pay fidya, charity, which is 750 gram per day. Mud means 700. Mud is 750 of food.
With that clarification of that condition, without enough milk, so if you're a nursing mother, then you should fast? Only if you don't
If you
have
are
enough
a
milk?
nursing mother and if you fast is going to adversely affect your baby, no, you don't have to.
But if it's not?
But if it does not, let's suppose, I don't know, I'm not expert in this. Suppose the milk is okay, the quality of the milk, you can nurse your baby, then you can't break your fast.
What
But
about
most likely they break, because if you don't eat, you don't have milk.
there's
Most
a lot of
likely.
formulas now. I mean, is that an excuse or not?
No, formula has nothing to do with her breast anymore.
Yeah,
So
they should still.
if she
do
gives
it.
him
So if she like,
If she gives him formula, then she is not feeding him.
Right.
Then she has to fast. You mean if she changes his diaper?
As you know, if she has an option to do formula, so she can. That's an option for all of them.
No. She doesn't have, because the Quran says the healthy nursing is 2 years, and the mother has. وَالْوَالِدَاتُ يُرْضِعْنَ أَوْلَادَهُنَّ حَوْلَيْنِ
I
كَامِلَيْنِ.
agree, it's
Yeah.
healthier this
Yeah.
way, but I'm just,
Yeah, but there is no, Islam does not tell her no, there is a substitute, so give him the formula, and no.
so if she then,
Nothing can substitute for her.
No,
No.
same thing.
Yeah,
so if
we
she
have a lot of
milked the
reasons.
night before, like up to Fajr,
Mm.
and then she milked it, she put it in a bottle, then she fasted all day, and then she was feeding the baby that milk, and then she ended up breaking her fast, and then she started breastfeeding, so this would be okay.
If you freeze it, sometimes they do the milk already and get it
put in
stored,
fridge.
and later they do like a week's.
During the day, they give it to him.
Mhm.
If
That
she
would be
can
okay.
if she can do that, but she doesn't have to.
Interesting, okay.
She doesn't have to. She can feed him fresh,
I remember as a
and it
resident-
would be an excuse for her. But however, the book did not translate exactly. المرضعة القليلة اللبن. If her milk is enough, she cannot. But if it reduces the milk, then it would be a reason for her to break her fast. الثامنة من نام في رمضان واستمر في نومه. Someone who slept the night before and he continued sleeping until noon, which is alhamdulillah, most of the Arab nations they do. Not noon, they wake up just before Maghrib. When the adhan says Allahu Akbar, they open their eyes.
Enough time for Dhuhr and Asr.
Believe me. Not even, they do qadha. Okay? فَإِنْ كَانَ نَوَى الصَّوْمِ. If he, before he went to bed, before Fajr, he said, I am going, he did the niyyah of siyam of that day, then if he sleeps the whole day, it's okay. All day. From Fajr until sunset, he slept. It's accepted. But if he did not do the niyyah, and the Fajr came and the guy is snoring, he slept, let's say 3 a.m., the Fajr is 5 a.m., he slept from 3 a.m. until afternoon. If he wakes up before noon, he can do the niyyah. But if he was asleep through the noon and he woke up in the afternoon, then he has to do qada of that day.
I used to hear it, one of those things that you hear, people throw out there, that if you're sleeping in Ramadan, the angels are reading Quran over you.
Not the khutbah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وَنَوْمُكُمْ فِيهِ عِبَادَةٌ. Your sleep, your rest during this month is considered an act of worship and obedience. Not that angels would, recite. Yeah. So, وإن لم ينوي فعليه القضاء. Okay. والمجنون والمغمى عليه. But, so in case of a sleeping person, if he did not do the niyyah, then from the night before, and then he slept throughout the whole day, he has to do qada. But if he has done the niyyah the night before and he slept throughout the whole day, that's it. It's accepted because he started the journey with intention with niyyah. But these two examples, the majnoon, insane, والمغمى عليه, someone who passed out, okay? لا يجب على أحدهما القضاء سواء عرض ذلك أياما أو بعض أيام وسواء سبقت منهما النية أو لم تسبق وسواء عولج بما يفطر أو لم يعالج على الأشبه. These two guys, they have good exemption, alhamdulillah. The majnoon and someone who passed out. Whether he passes out before Fajr or after Fajr, 1 day of Ramadan or 30 days of Ramadan, they do not have to make up what they have. While they were in a state of junoon and in a state of coma, they don't have to make that up.
Shaykh mentioned before that you can make the need for all of Ramadan before
Exactly.
Ramadan starts. What about
As a precaution, ulama say, just in case one of the nights you forget, then that niyyah that you did on the eve of Ramadan, it would cover.
Even if you miss a day in the middle, let's say on the 14th or 15th day, you don't have to do the niyyah over again.
Yes.
You're,
No, do it.
Do it.
If you remember, do it. Do it if you remember. But that one covers you. That one in the beginning covers you. This is why I say this every beginning of Ramadan. Before Ramadan, I remind the people that I'm going, inshallah, to fast the whole month of Ramadan, qurbatan Allah. In case you forget. التاسع من يسوغ له الإفطار في شهر رمضان. The one who is permitted to break his fast in Ramadan. Arash. Give me one or two example of those who are permitted to fast in Ramadan. So I know you are in Orange County. You are not somewhere else.
Permitted to fast?
Yeah, it's okay for them to fast in Ramadan.
To break the fast.
To break the fast. To break the fast. What did I say?
Permitted to fast.
No. Permitted to break the fast in Ramadan. Who are they? Give me one example.
Someone with an illness where fasting
Exactly.
would aggravate the illness.
Marid. Any person who's sick is permitted. Or we said the elderly.
The elderly.
Very elderly, who cannot. Or
The nursing mother who's
or traveler.
traveler.
He's not sick. He's healthy. He's everything. He's not, but he's traveling, so he shouldn't fast. Those people who are permitted to break their fast, it is makruh, not haram. Makruh for them to have full lunch, full breakfast, to fill their stomach. Eat, to survive. Tamalli means imtila. Imtila means full. He says, Alhamdulillah, since I'm not fasting, I'll make a huge breakfast for myself or a huge dinner. It's makruh. So to eat or drink full. Even when they drink, they have to drink to relieve themselves from thirst. Not to the full bottle, Okay? وَكَذَا الْجِمَاعِ. Also, they are makruh for them to have sexual intercourse. Though they are traveling. He's traveling. Let's say he's not in town. Him and his wife are going on a business trip, let's say, or somewhere. Makruh to do jima'. وَقِيلَ. Another opinion says, listen to this, Arash. Another opinion, it says haram for him to have sexual intercourse, though he's not fasting, though he's exempted from fasting, but it's haram to do jima' during the day, of course, not the night. The night is okay for all, but during the day it's haram. But the opinion says no. This opinion, I would stay away from it. I would not say haram, I would say makruh for them. Let's begin a little. وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا Muhammad. We finished Bab al-Siyam. Let's go to Bab al-Taharat. Read a couple of lines. كتاب الطهارة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الطهارة اسم للوضوء أو الغسل أو التيمم. How do we define طهارة? The definition of طهارة is purity is what? 3 acts. Either wudu, the act of ablution, or the act of tayammum, or the act of ritual shower, ghusl. These 3 acts are called tahara. But how? Just any ghusl, any wudu? No. That allows you to pray. The ghusl that allows you to pray, like ghusl al-janaba. Okay? The ghusl that, the wudu that allows you to pray, and the tayammum that allows you to pray, makes the prayers okay for you. Okay?
I could swear we covered all of it.
Like what? Sometimes, no, we haven't. This is tahara. Now, what wudu does not allow you to pray? You are doing wudu, but that is not, it would not allow you to pray. It's insufficient.
The
Something
water
missing from it.
is-
No. Suppose full wudu, washing, and the water is yours, not ghasb, not taken away, not stolen. Water is here.
No niyyah.
Exactly. Because for the wudu, which is wajib, for the prayers, you have to harbor the niyyah in your mind. What does niyyah mean? Do you have to say it with your tongue? No. If you say it with your tongue, it's okay. But at least in your mind, you know, I am doing wudu for fajr. I'm doing wudu qurbatan ila Allah. I'm doing wudu for dhuhr. I'm doing wudu for maghrib. You know. But if you don't know what you did, you just did wudu mechanically. That one is not sufficient for salat.
So what if, say, you do the wudu for Dhuhr and Asr, but you don't break it, and then do you have to redo it
No,
with the intention
no.
of doing
You
Maghrib?
can do wudu for the same. I know some people, of course, they get sick later on, their kidney. They keep their wudu fajr for dhuhr, asr, and maghrib, isha, non-stop. This is why they get sick. The first thing, they lose their kidney. You know, they don't drink water, so they can keep their wudu. You can do it. You can do one wudu for all of them. You can do that. Yeah. So once the wudu was for the morning, you can stretch it for dhuhr and asr and maghrib. You don't have to say, I'm doing wudu for all these prayers.
But the morning the niyyah was for the subh, but in a way it's also for the prayer in general.
Yes, yeah. And prayers for general. So even if you stretch it for dhuhr and asr, you can still keep that wudu and do the wudu with it. The prayers with it. And all of these 3, wudu, ghusl, and tayammum, has wajib part and mustahab part. What is the wajib part? How does the wudu becomes wajib? The wudu becomes wajib ما كان لصلاة واجبة. If your prayers is wajib, then the wudu has to be wajib too. If your tawaf is wajib, then your wudu has to be wajib too. Unless your tawaf is mustahab. Then the wudu becomes also mustahab, not wajib. Okay? أو لمس كتابة القرآن إن وجب. So for 3 things, you need to do wudu. Thing number 1, prayers. Wajib prayers. The wudu becomes wajib, mandatory. Things number 2, what is it?
Go around.
Tawaf, which is wajib. So the wudu of it becomes wajib too. Things number 3, if you make a vow or ahd, a covenant, that I am going to touch with my hands, not accidentally. You make premeditated vow or covenant, ahd or nadhr, that I'm going to touch with my finger, with my skin, the writings of the Quran.
So
Some-
you don't have to have wudu just to hold the Quran?
No.
I thought oh, so it's only the fingers on the...
Even if you read it in your hand.
Even if you read it and you hold the page from here.
No
Hold
wudu.
it. Don't have wudu. You hold it from here, the pages. Okay? So in that case, you need wudu. So the wudu are for these 3 things. وَالْوَاجِبُ مِنَ الْغُسْلِ. How does the ghusl become wajib? In the following cases. ما كان لأحد الأمور الثلاثة. If your ghusl is for the prayers that are wajib, like Fajr prayers, what type of ghusl becomes wajib? Janaba. It covers the prayers. Or tawaful wajib. Tawaf also, if the tawaf is wajib, you can do ghusl before the tawaf. Okay? Or in case of what? In case of what? Al-massul wajib, touching the Quran also. So if you have done, let's say, ghusl janaba, it is sufficient also to touch the Quran. You don't have to do the ghusl. You don't have to do the wudu.
Sorry, sir, did you see also it's okay for tawaf and salat too?
Yeah.
If you did the ghusl
If you have done ghusl janaba, let's say.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Now, you may ask me, how do I do ghusl janaba while I am ihram? You wake up and you are ihtilam, wet dream, in the hotel. Before you go to Masjid al-Haram to do the tawaf, in that case you have to do ghusl, of course. Ghusl janaba. And this ghusl janaba is sufficient. You don't have to do wudu after it and go and do the tawaf.
Or in the daily prayers, yeah.
Huh?
In the daily prayers, like if you do ghusl, you could do salat.
No. What type of ghusl you do? Janaba?
No, I mean, if we do the wudu, ghusl.
No. Ghusl is not. Daily, you take just a shower, mustahab shower, it would not be sufficient for salat.
Right, would not be. So
No.
the Friday one mustahab, that's not sufficient.
Friday exception.
Oh, Friday is okay.
Friday, ghusl al-jumu'ah suffices for the wudu. Only ghusl al-jumu'ah. But let's say tomorrow, Tuesday, you want to take ghusl in the shower in the morning. Mustahab shower, let's say mustahab. It would not suffice for you have to do wudu after it.
So the Friday one, does that cover dhuhr and asr too?
If you do asr after dhuhr, yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Okay.
Say, one question, for the touching of the Quran, do you have to be bulugh for that to happen? Or if you're not bulugh...
It's as a precaution, ihtiyat, the child also have to do wudu.
Touching the words, you said even if you would do it, touch only the corners, or if you're
No.
not
I mean, let's say this is the Quran, okay? And I want to read it. If I touch the corner, not the writings, I don't have to have wudu.
Okay.
But if I want to touch, I want to put my finger on the writings, on the words, then I have to
And
have.
obviously only the Arabic part, the English part
Yes,
is okay.
English is exempted. English is exempted. Not necessarily English, any other language. The original language, Arabic. Any other language does not require wudu. Mustahab, as a respect, but it's not wajib. أو لدخول المساجد. Now, ghusl becomes wajib if you are junub and you want to enter the masjid, then you must take a shower before you go to the masjid. أو لقراءة العزائم إن وجب. What are azaim? Azaim, 4 chapters in the Quran are called azaim. Why? Because there is mandatory sujood in them. These 4 chapters are Surah Al-Sujda, which is chapter 32. Surah Fussilat, which is chapter 41. Surah Al-Qalam, An-Najm, which is chapter 53, and Surah Al-Alaq, Iqra' Bismi Rabbika Al-Khalaq, which is chapter 96. These four, if you want to read the whole surah, then you must have
You gotta do sujood.
You need to have
not just sujood,
wudu
yeah,
or
Rasul.
or ghusl, yes, or ghusl. You cannot do it without. If you are junub, you cannot do that, and if you are ha'id too, monthly cycle, the period, these four should not be read, neither for the junub nor. Now, some people say if you read them because they are mandatory upon you to read them. How does it become mandatory? Is it mandatory on us to read Quran? No,
except for prayers.
in the prayers.
So if you're
But outside the prayers, is it mandatory? No. How does it become mandatory on me to read Quran?
the prayers are
No, outside the prayers. How does it become? If I make another that I will finish the whole one cycle of Quran from cover to cover, in that case it becomes wajib. So I have to have ghusl. I cannot read it while I am junub. وقد يجب, also it is wajib to have the ghusl إذا بقي لطلوع الفجر من يوم يجب صومه. In the month of Ramadan, if you are going to fast tomorrow, Hajj Arish June, okay? Then you are most likely going to be junub this coming month of Ramadan, inshallah ta'ala, with all the blessings and barakah. Okay. This has to be deleted from. Then you must have, it becomes wajib on you to perform the ghusl. Becomes wajib on you to perform the ghusl before Fajr. And you remember if we said someone knows that he doesn't have time for Fajr to do ghusl, and he still had relationship with his wife, in that case, he has to pay kafara. Because he knows it's not enough time to go and jump in the shower. The muaddin is going to say Allahu Akbar in 2 minutes, and he just wants to begin. So,
sorry for the ghusl. Is if you need to do ghusl, you could still read a surah. Just if you're sitting down, you decide to read I don't know, Fatiha or any of the surah, you could still read it, even if you're in
janaba,
yeah.
you can.
Except
It's
for
makruh.
Oh.
But for these four, it's haram.
Okay, it's haram.
For these four, it's haram. But for regular Quran, it's makruh to read more than 7 verses. While you are junub, it's makruh to read more than. Actually, Fatiha you can because it's 7 verses. Fatiha. But more than that, it's makruh, not haram. But for these four, it's haram. ولصوم المستحاضة إذا غمس دمها القطنة. Okay. She has to do ghusl wajib, mandatory on her. What is mustahada, my friends? We have hayd, alhamdulillah, today, I can speak freely. We have hayd and we have istihada. Hayd is normal period. Women see, 5 days, 4 days, whatever, every month. Every month they see this. So they don't pray. They don't pray, they don't fast. However, they do not recover the prayers, but they must recover the fast. Istihada is not a regular period. It's a blood that because of, she was terrified, she was anxious, worried about something, bad news came, they see blood. So it's not regular period. It's a blood that they see from time to time, irregularly. It's called istihada. Now, if they divide the istihada into 3 categories: qalil, little, mutawassit, and kathir. If it is qalil, she wears the pad. Hajj Ali, Dr. Ali, she wears the pad, okay? If the blood only on this side, this is qalil. Does not transpire to the other side. This is qalil. So she only does wudu for each prayers. Morning prayers, wudu. Dhuhr, wudu. Asr, wudu. Maghrib, wudu. Isha, wudu.
Without ghusl.
Without ghusl. If it is transpires from this side to this side, okay, this is mutawassat. She has to do one ghusl in the morning and one wudu per prayers. If it is kathir, it not only transpires, it even the underwear gets, whatever, okay, bloody. This is kathir. She has to do 2 ghusuls and a wudu for every prayers. The 2 ghusuls, one in the fajr for the morning and dhuhr and asr, one for maghrib and isha.
I'm sorry, what was the last part?
And she can do her tawaf too. Yani.
What was the last one? If it's excessive? Well,
Excessive, she does 2 ghusl.
okay. Misunderstood.
A wudu for every prayers and 2 ghusl. One in the morning for the fajr, dhuhr and asr prayers. It covers that area. And one in the evening for maghrib and isha.
So say then they pray dhuhr, then they stop, they go do wudu, they come back and then
They
pray
change
asr.
the pad too. Between dhuhr and asr, they have to change the pad too.
Oh.
Okay? And the
that
underwear.
beyond?
And it's mandatory. They change the pad and the underwear too. And then they do the asr.
This is even for like mutawassat or the
For the mutawassat and the big, kathir. For the small one, she just changes the pad
For the middle one, the ghusl is in the morning? You said-
in the morning. For the big one, the morning and evening, 2 ghusuls. والمندوب Okay. والمندوب, what is the mandub? Mustahab ghusl. Mandub is ما عداه, whatever is not mandatory is called mandub. And we can come to it. There are plenty. غسل الزيارة, غسل دخول المسجد الحرام. Even if you are not in state of ihram, you love to go to Masjid al-Nabi, Masjid al-Haram. Mustahab to take ghusl. Okay? غسل التوبة, for instance. Tawbah, you want to say astaghfirullah, you did something gross. Now you want to seek istighfar. These are plenty of mustahabbat, plenty of titles it has, the ghusl. وَالْوَاجِبُ مِنَ التَّيَمُّمِ. What type of tayammum becomes wajib on us? It is one ما كان لصلاة واجبة عندما تضيق وقتها. Now, you wake up before Fajr. Fajr was 5:35. Sunrise. Sunrise 6:59 today. 58 or 59. And then you wake up, there is 3 minutes. Wow, now it's 6:55. I have 3 minutes. I can't jump and do wudu and do salat. Immediately you do tayammum and you stand for your salat. Even if you cover the first rak'ah before sunrise, the second rak'ah automatically is covered if you can catch the first rak'ah before sunrise. In that case, when you don't have time to do wudu and the time of the salat is going to expire, then you do tayammum. Even if water is available, but water takes longer time. Tayammum takes shorter.
This obviously doesn't apply to us. That's for people out in the desert, right? Because for us, it's probably longer to go do tayammum.
No. If you have the dust, you don't have to go outside.
Even dust
You
on the
remove
ground?
the carpet underneath the carpet.
Oh.
Symbolic dust. Symbolic. Yeah.
Mm.
وللجنب في أحد المسجدين. If you wake up in Masjid al-Haram or Masjid al-Medina, you know how Muslims, alhamdulillah, they sleep there? You've seen them? And he wakes up, he's junub. Immediately he has to take tayammum. Even while he's about to leave. But even this gesture of standing and leaving requires tayammum.
Oh,
Okay?
you have to do it.
Immediately he does tayammum. And then he leaves the masjid.
Just to get permission to do. What's the
Yeah.
symbolism of that?
Symbol, you cannot stay with awareness. When you are not asleep, you are awake, you cannot delay the tahara even for 2 minutes. So you must make tayammum.
That's
In these two masjid, okay? ليخرج والمندوب ما عداه. And then, what is the mustahab tayammum? It is accept these things. Let's say, you need to read Quran and you can't do wudu. It's a bit cold. Okay? Do tayammum. Tayammum would be okay to recite the Quran. Or
Recite or
touch. لقراءة القرآن. Okay? They say لقراءة. قراءة.
To say.
To not to touch, to recite. أو لدخول المساجد. دخول المساجد. You know, to enter the mosque, it's mustahab. Just mustahab. Even if you are not junub, mustahab, do tayammum and go inside the masjid. It's mustahab. If you can't do wudu, do tayammum. And وقد تجب الطهارة بنذر وشبهه. Now, sometimes the tahara is not for prayers, neither for Quranic recitation, nor for entering a masjid, nor for touching the wording of the Quran. But you made another, that inshallah this week I'll try to be during the day, let's say from 10 a.m., let's say to whatever, you know, in a state of tahara. If you make a vow, then it becomes obligatory on you. وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. اللهم صل على